handled by many appointments. On the other hand, each hospital would be referred many times. So it looks like this. The plan database looks like this from this website, as we showed in the last video and in the previous classrooms as well. We can export the model to image. Yeah, so we can export it, for example, as PNG image generated, and it looks like this. So we are not going to spend time waiting for it. And you can also export model to a PDF file, generate PDF file of the model, and you can save it in your appropriate folder once you get it. And you can also produce the SQL document, the code, and you can create the table, the sequences, the procedures, views, references. And you can save and download, and you can download and open the SQL needed for creating the database and the relationship between the tables. Okay, now today though we are going to work on creating an Access database together. First, I have created a folder. I've called that folder KY surgery, and you need to give it appropriate names. I'm calling it KY surgery, get it, King Jacob surgery, but you need to give it appropriate name based on your own scenario. Don't just copy me as this. Use your own initiative. Okay, so I am going to now create the database. We are able to open the database software Access. We'll be using Access this time, and we can open Access and create a new database in a specified folder, which is this one. However, we can cheat as well a bit. I like cheating. All right, so I am going now inside the folder, and I'm going to right click, new, and Microsoft Access database. When I do that, I have control where it's being created. And if I am opening as well, I'm not going to be creating on top of the previous one. This is a good way. You go to the folder, you create there. If you need to open, you go to the folder and open it by double clicking. So we will choose Microsoft Access database, just like we create a folder. We create, so I'm going to call it KY Doctor Surgery. Just to make it shorter, we'll call it KY Surgery. So this is a Microsoft Access database file. Once we create it, it opens like this. Okay, and then we are going to we have created the database. So what do we create next? You see, based on this, based on the design, which is this one, we need to create the database. Okay, so create table design and NHS number, and data type is going to be so this is for the patients, and for patients, if I make this one bigger, even here on vertical below we have identified some, yeah, so NHS number, yeah, and short text, and it's going to be 12. All right, and it may be worth looking into what input mask we can put for NHS number, but I'll leave it for now like that. And then patient's first name. Patient's first name is going to be short text, and I think 25 would be a good idea. All right, and patient's surname. Oh, sorry, what happened there? So surname, patient surname, and it's going to be maybe 30. And patient's date of birth, again, it's going to depend on your design. Yeah, all right, I'm remembering good. And data type for date of birth is going to be here with the date and time, and we are going to prefer the short date format. Yeah, and we can add input mask while we are here, but we need to save it first. It's going to be patient, and click OK. There is no primary key defined. That's fine, I will do it. I don't want access to help me with that. So short date is what we are looking for, and the input mask is automatically created for us. We are happy. But okay, NHS number, let's make it primary key, and primary key would be unique. Each of us would have our own unique NHS number, and then we are going to need patient's other details, like for example address one, and it's going to be short text and 50, and patient's address 2, it's going to be again short text and 50. Maybe town, again maybe 30 actually. And by the way, surname usually it's nicer in a capital letter, so we can give it a format of greater than, right? And the greater than format would convert it to uppercase, and we could actually add the patient's title. And we could have maybe about 25, but we can add validation rules, titles that are acceptable. Yeah, so all the titles you are going to accept as part of the database, like that. You need to put or Lord or King, whatever title. Professor, it's up to you. I'm not going to write all of them, save time, but when you do it for real, please enter title. You need to, if people get it wrong, then you need to give them a warning message, right? So that's why you need to add the validation text. Please enter the title. you need to think how you can empower the database to communicate with users. Okay, all right. Patient town and patient's telephone number. These people could get longer phone numbers. Who knows? Things may change. So 15, but then it has to be numbers. Yeah. So you could plan to add appropriate input masks or formats. Patient's mobile phone. And up to 15. All right, so this is the first table created. More fields could be added, things like photograph and all that, but we'll make it simple for now. We'll just we don't start entering the data. We'll just close this one, this table. We could enter data, but we don't want to do now because we need to make sure the tables are in a relationship first. So we need to create the other tables, and the purpose of this video is to support those students who need that a little bit of extra support. Okay, especially now since it's lockdown. Yeah, I would not maybe have made this video, but for those who may need that extra support when working away from the college, yeah, having this video may help. So I'm actually creating this video for that purpose. So it would be for some of you. So I'm going to create all the tables slowly, right, to show you how you would actually do it. Yeah, and it's gonna be a long video. Okay, and you could always fast forward. And then the next table is going to be staff. Okay, right, staff ID. All right, and it would be a good idea to actually base it on our design. So ERD diagram would empower us to and staff ID character would be 3 characters. Okay, so we'll try to maintain that short text 3 characters, and we'll look in the future maybe editing the formats, the input masks, that kind of things, yeah, in the next video. And then staff first name, it's a good idea to use camel case with names always within computers, because it really, sometimes some programs don't like spaces. Yeah, and we don't like spaces. We don't normally add spaces within our names, right? So it's like that. Yeah, just keep it simple without spaces, better. Short, simple, sweet would be the best way of naming. Yeah, and staff type. Okay, all right, I need that. So if I add insert row and staff type is going to be 15 characters. And here you could actually not only staff type, you could actually make it a lookup wizard. I want the lookup, I will type in the values that I want. Okay, so I can put now staff type doctor manager management. We are looking at type, it's not the position. So nurse, the nurse could be manager or whatever, yeah, head nurse, but it's just, you know, doctor, you know, reception. Okay, maybe, you know, cleaner, some people would be cleaner. And what else would, who else would work in a doctor management? um, okay, so we have nurse, um, doctor, let's think if is anything else we need. It looks like doctor, management, nurse, reception, cleaner, laboratory assistant, maybe. Shall we add that? Do you think a GP would have? Basically, you know, it doesn't matter whether you add that or not. We are going to add it at KY surgeries. We have that. This laboratory assistant or lab technician. I think it would be better to add lab technician. Okay, so staff type. So do you want to limit entries to the list? Yeah, okay, let's say we list. Okay, so staff type, staff first name. Okay, let's check now. Then staff title. We were about to forget staff title. Again, here there is an opportunity for staff title to be specified here. Let's say 20, yeah, and then, you know, similar to what we did earlier. I'm not going to do it now. You know, you know, you should be working hard, not me. First name for your database, you know, you decide how you do it. Staff first name is going to be, say, maybe like 25. Then staff surname, so I am using the tabs to create the fields. And so I am now, you know, creating the second table, and I have to save it soon. If I, for example, primary key, so to set a primary key, I need to click, is it Control H, is it, or Control Alt H? I need to find out. Database shortcuts. I'm gonna Google. This is important. As much as I can, I have to make sure my videos are accessible. Database shortcuts. So keyboard shortcut for access. Okay, let's have a look. This one, select the active tab of the ribbon and activate key. Select the active tab of the ribbon, ALT or F10. F10 to move to different tab. Use key tips or the arrow keys. Open the home tab, ALTH. Open the tell me box in the ribbon, ALTQ. Okay, so primary key. Okay, there is nothing about primary key. I do have VI students. Perhaps I need to work on this. This time I will apologize. I will go ahead with the video. Staff surname, but I'll work on it. Staff first name, okay, so we are 25. Staff surname and 30, and we'll make sure that is capitalized, and staff gender. You know, some patients may have preference. You know, they may ask for ladies may ask for a lady doctor or something like that. So staff gender, and here in you have the chance of choosing a yes no fields. And okay, now I am going to, it's possible to actually put it as male and female, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, male and female. Okay, so if we put like that, staff gender, and is going to, after that, staff email, mobile and telephone, and position. Okay, staff email address, and if it's long, 30 maybe, staff telephone number, and you know, I'm taking long, and for some of you, you could always, once you don't have to sit down and watch the whole thing, but it's important for some of my students, so I am going to work through it slowly for the sake of those who need it. And it's okay to need it sometimes, a little bit of help. Yeah, main thing is that you understand it. Then staff position, staff telephone, staff position, by the way, you know, make sure you finish everything and you create a relationship before Again, there is an opportunity for lookup and for validation rules, and subposition is going to be short text and cert, like 20, right? But now let's do the lookup another way. Here we change it. We click lookup and combo box, and instead of table query we are going to use a value list, and the raw source is going to be, for example, a doctor, semicolon in this case, and the nurse, and a semicolon, and cleaner. So the main question you ask here is what kind of positions do we have within a GP. So we have a doctor, we have a nurse, we have a cleaner, and we may have a receptionist. Any busy doctor surgery would have a receptionist, doctor, nurse, and a manager. Okay, and to be honest, we could also here do the and if I go to lookup, then here I can, I almost was getting confused, but I need to, there are two tabs here. Here the field properties are so many that they needed two tabs, and then on the validation rules, we can put those ones, but they need to be separated, each of those, by OR. Okay, this is me being lazy. I'm using copy and paste, but they need to be separated by OR. Just like you, I could be lazy sometimes, not more, just like you only. Alright, so this would be the validation rules, and the validation text, if in case we get it wrong, please enter. We forgot to add or cleaner. Even in the lookup, we can go and add cleaner. And cleaners would be very, very important in a doctor surgery. Okay, so as one of those. Okay, alright, so I have just used Ctrl V to paste it. Alright, so we have done, okay, so far we have done two tables, and this table is going to be called staff, and two tables done, and then two tables done, three to go. Alright, we need to create a table, right? So the way we do it is I've forgotten the shortcuts For create, I think td. Now if I type, so I type, so to get this, what I did was I could get C, but this is easy to when I see it, and td to choose table design. I'm trying to use a shortcut. Okay, I have managed to do it. Now let me do this again. This is exciting. So now I need to go to the create. So I am going to I did Alt and C to create, and table design. I'm going to choose. I'm going to type T and D, and then I'm going to type my my fields according to my ERD design appointments. So the appointment one, NHS number, NHS number. Okay, so this one, and I can use a lookup wizard, right? I will type no. So I want the lookup fields to get the values from another table or query. See this appointment. So the lookup wizard, if it gets it from the patients table, would be exact. So from patients table, and selected field would be NHS number, and it's going to list it by NHS number. And so it's asking us what level would you like your lookup fields. Do you want to enable data integrity between these tables? Absolutely. We want to make sure enable data integrity, and cascade delete or restrict delete. We want to restrict delete. We need to make sure only patients who are members, registered patients, can make the appointments. So we'll choose that. Finish. The table must be saved before relationships can be created. You see, now if we are going to do that, the relationship is going to be created. One fun is going to be taken away from us doing it this way, but it's good to know this way. The table must be saved before the relationship can be created. Save now, yes. And it's going to be, this one is going to be appointment. I don't want primary key to be created. I will do it myself. I don't want right click primary key. So now really what I hope it had been recording all of this. It just counted 4 3 2 1. Maybe it has paused it at some time. That may help with making the video shorter. Trust me, I'm not going to record again, but I will just describe it otherwise. And hospital name, what else would be needed? Hospital address 1, hospital address 2. Hospital address 1 is going to be 50, and it's you who decide, not me for you. Yeah, just know that. Hospital town. Oh, Okay, hospital postcode, and then we change the field size to 12. No, not 12. And hospital telephone number, maybe keep it the same, 15. I don't know why I have two hospital IDs, so I'm gonna delete one of them. Hospital would be the table name. Okay, and referral would be the next one, and table design. Referral ID 10 digits, and it's going to be primary key. Referral date. Oh, sorry, I have done some crime there, it looks like. Okay, the referral date is going to be okay, for dates, and referral time. Data type is going to be date and time, and but format is going to be maybe for time, short time, and input masks. Short time, and the referral reason needs to be written. It needs text and 250 characters. We need hospital ID, but we need to be using the lookup to actually create a relationship within here. Hospital ID, we need to use the Lookup Wizard, and from hospital. So it will inherit all the features. It's better if it's sorted. once we finish that, we know the referral ID is primary key. We know hospital ID is the primary key. If it's like this is a datasheet view, we can go back and look at the design view in the home view, design view, and we can see this is set the primary key. Design view is where we actually design the tables, the structures, where we change the attributes of those fields, the table fields, the columns, whereas datasheet view is where we enter the data. Okay, even the way we enter data, we have to be careful. We'll look at that in the next video, and also in the classrooms, of course. That's the main place. The video is just extra. It's important for your success to attend. Your success will depend on your attendance. Don't forget that. So log would be here, and you see, by the way, the joint primary key would be used. So we highlight all of them, and in design and primary key. Yeah. So because when you want to achieve uniqueness for the appointment, the NHS, the same patient could see the same stuff several times, but it would be differentiated by date and time, even several times a day. Yeah. Log. Hospital. All right. So appointment log, and then we are going to referral ID, prescriptions, so we'll add referral ID. Okay, and here and we would use Lookup Wizard. It would have double advantage. So which table or query should provide. Okay, so the appointment now this time referral. It will supply us with referral ID. Of course, we want it to be sorted by referral ID. Okay, so that's it. We have the NHS number stuff already linked, and let's have a look. And database tools, relationships, already these tables are related. We need to enforce referential integrity rules, and once we enforce referential integrity rules, so each appointment are connected with patients and staff and possibly referrals, and each patient can make many appointments. Each staff need to attend many appointments. For each referrals, preparation could be done based on many appointments, and each hospital would take many referrals. So the relationship looks like this. Once we have the relationship established, that's when we start entering the data. And when we enter the data, we need to enter possibly the patient's detail first, staff table, and hospital table. These are the primary data, so we add those, and then once we have the hospitals, we can make referrals. So we can do that, but here we can different kind. So once we have the hospitals and the appointments, okay. So for each appointment, there each referral could be seen many appointments. It all depends on your assumptions, but if we assume that, then we can enforce the referential integrity rules. Yeah, if we happen to delete the relationship, for example, between appointment and staff, let's delete. Then what we could do is from staff ID to staff ID. So we pick this staff ID and bring it here to staff ID. From staff ID to staff ID. Good. And then we need to enforce the referential integrity. We can only enforce referential integrity at the beginning when they don't have any data. Later on we can, but it would be a little bit messy because you do need to make sure the integrity is followed before. Yeah, so just assume you can only do it at the beginning. Okay, so the next part is then entering the data. Yeah, so you need to enter the details for patients, hospitals, referrals, and staff, and patients, staff, hospitals, and then after that appointment and referrals. Yeah, your design would be and should be different. This is how I have done it. What you learned is how to create the database and then create the tables with relationships in a very easy way. Thank you very much for following this long lesson, but important. Thanks.